right.
What up, YouTube? Welcome to the Dirt Road. This is the Dirt Road behind us over there. That's Mike.
And this is Rick.
What's up, pal? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
I'm not doing good because, listen, man, I know I'm not going to be the most popular guy around here tonight, but that debate last night, my friend.
So that was awful.
And listen, what we're going to do is we're going like we did one of the other times. Mike's going to speak for a little while, just give you his thoughts on what he saw last night. Me, I'm going to be honest with you. I turned it off multiple times, but what I did do is read the transcript, and I actually found that a lot more enlightening. What the hell is that sound?
Stupid fucking alerts.
All right. Listen, if you guys subscribe and get us monetized here, we can afford better equipment, and then this stuff won't happen, you know? So subscribe, tell your friends. Anyway, Mike's going to say his thoughts. We're going to probably disagree on things today, so those of you who get sick of hearing us agree on things,
you'll probably be happy to hear us disagree.
You'll probably have a better time tonight because, well, it's your turn. You go. I'm not going to call him a dick right now. I'll wait till later. You go.
All right, so if you're like us, you know, you stayed up, you were expecting this big, great debate where he was just going to crush her, rightfully so, and then you got that. Okay. All right, look, I'm not saying the guy lost. I don't think he lost. I think he got some good jabs in. He did. But I wanted to hear policy. I wanted to hear actual policy, and I wanted to see her stutter and stammer and kind of make a fool of herself the way she normally does. But I didn't get any policy from Trump, and she actually did better than I thought she would do. Not quite sure why she did better. Was it all the practicing? You know, there's the thing going around about the earpiece thing, supposedly, or earring or whatever, supposedly an earpiece, possibly. I don't know about that. I know she did have a pad and pen in front of her, which that was supposed to be off the table. And then she also had her mic was on the whole time, which was supposed to be off the table. And he did face, both moderators were basically with her, so he debated three people. So, I mean, there was a lot of stacked against him, but it's ABC News. I guess you kind of have to expect that, or at least he should have. But I feel like he flubbed it. I feel like he didn't really come out as strong as he could have come out. He came out like rally strong. He sort of like a lot of stuff I'll say at rallies. He really didn't get a lot of like the real policy stuff that makes him like so impactful with like those people that are in the middle, maybe undecided. I think he missed an opportunity here with that, with getting those people kind of on board. Because he could have spoken more about policy. He could have spoken more about actually how he's going to do these things. I mean, he went into it a little bit, especially at the end. But realistically, I wasn't impressed with the entire performance. I felt like there was more that could have been done, or it could have been done much better. But it was also an ABC News debate with, those three versus him. So, I mean, there's that kind of plays into it as well. Curious to see what you guys thought about it. I heard from a lot of people last night, all day today about it. A lot of people were very upset with the way he performed. They felt like he bombed it, or he flubbed it, or they just weren't happy with it. And I kind of felt the same way. I felt like it was an opportunity lost. So please get in that comment section. Let us know what you think and what you saw. And we're going to start going through some of the stuff that went on last night and talking about different things. He's got this great history of policy, right? We have the Abraham Accords from his presidency. We had deals with North Korea. We had things going like moving in the right direction when he was bringing peace to the world. So when he kind of went into that whole thing about the Ukraine and he said, I want the war to stop, I want to save lives, that was the most heartfelt sentiment I think we've probably seen in a presidential debate in decades. He truly meant that. So I absolutely get where he was coming from with that. I just would have liked to have maybe heard more about how he was planning to do that, like how he plans to bring them to the table. And I know he's spoken about this at other events and things like that, where we've got that video where we can talk about where he talks about Ukraine and how he would actually end that thing pretty quickly, cut off the money supply to Ukraine, bring both parties to the table, sit them down, and hash the damn thing out and be done with it. And that makes sense, but I would have liked to have heard more about that last night. I think that would have convinced a lot more people. Right now in this campaign, they're fighting for the middle, right? You have a lot of people who don't really pay attention to news. They get their news from a headline they see on TikTok or maybe on some other social media platform, but they don't really watch podcasts like this. They're not really reading the articles. They're not really paying attention. And maybe they're in the middle. They're undecided. It might be a one-issue voter. He had an opportunity to kind of grab those people last night and really bring them over to the fold, which he needs. He does. He needs those people. He needs to win at a level that just can't be even remotely questioned. You have to overcome the 3 to 5 points of cheating they're expecting in this election, which is about what they saw somewhere in that neighborhood in the last election. I mean, you have a lot. It's a big, big hill to climb. And I just feel like he really kind of went backwards almost, not really forwards on this whole thing. So some good points, some great jabs. I am not going to lie. I absolutely loved it when he turned to her and said, "I'm talking now." Do you remember that? I almost lost it. I was dying. He threw it right back at her. It was great. But, other than that, it was just some good jabs. It should have been much more about policy and just a much better, I think, overall debate, an actual debate. No, but what do you think, Rick?
Yeah, well, jabs are great for a fight. It's not a fight, it's a debate.
I agree.
And he was straight up, the man was a dick last night. He just was a complete dick. And I got to tell you, and it pains me to say that because I voted for the guy twice. I'm voting for him a third time. I want him to be president. So for those of you who don't understand that, you could put down somebody that you're voting for, whatever.
You could not be happy with his actions, absolutely. Yeah.
But to me, that was an absolute dumpster fire. I was completely unprepared. And I got to tell you something else. I'm not directing this at you. You brought it up, but I'm not directing it at you. I am fucking sick of I'm sorry. I'm tired. The media is against me. Everybody cheats. It's fucking excuse after excuse after excuse. Grow up. If you know the media is against you, be prepared for it. You know what they're going to ask you. So everything was just leading in like that. She knew what to do. She got under his skin. She lied her ass off. That's what people do. That's what politicians do. They lie. They take numbers. They make the numbers work for them. Yeah. That's what they do. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. The moderators don't bother me. Well, they bother me in a certain way. They don't bother me. I don't think that they're picking on Trump. I can't stand moderators. First, don't fact check. You're a moderator. You're not an expert on anything. It's the other candidate's job to fact check. That's what a debate is. So, yeah, the moderators, they got involved where they shouldn't have gotten involved, but he should have been fact checking her, and he didn't because he was too busy yelling and screaming and going off on fucking people eating dogs and talking about things that only a handful of people who follow Truth Social or watch Newsmax or Fox or something like that would even have a clue what he's talking about. Like Michael said, this is not for those people. The rally people, the people who watch Newsmax, Fox, the people who follow him on Truth Social, they might know what he's referring to when he talks about Aurora and Springfield and whatever. He doesn't explain anything. Nothing was explained. Doesn't bring up numbers. Nothing. Doesn't fact check her. Yeah, I liked his last closing statement because that kind of hit the point, but I think it was too late at that point. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't watch most of it. I read the entire transcript because it pissed me off less reading it than I was getting pissed off watching it. But I'm sorry, man. He blew. I'm not going to be hyperbolic and say he blew the election. The election's 7 weeks away, 6 weeks away, whatever. Yeah. There's time. But I got to tell you something right now, man. He didn't gain one fucking vote last night. Not one. He may have held on to the ones that he got. And yeah, the people like us, and maybe not so much me, but
excuse me, I'm sorry.
The MAGA folks, whatever, yeah, we like when he gets in a jab or he makes fun of her or something like that. But stop. Come on, you're on national TV. You can say her father's a Marxist. Who cares? What difference does that make? Her father was a Marxist. So what? Reagan was a Democrat at some point. His parents were Democrats. Yeah. Big fucking deal. Stop with the nonsense, Trump, because you're going to blow the goddamn election. And it's going to be your fault. So you know what? You said you took a bullet for America. You did. You took a real one. But you refused to take a metaphorical one and just swallow your fucking pride for 90 fucking minutes for the country. So I'm sorry. All of this shit, I love my country. I took a bullet for my country. But you can't fucking take a moderator? Seriously? You can't prepare? You can't do it. You know these guys are going to come at you. You can't prepare? It's ridiculous, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired after. He's been in this for 9 years now. And it's nothing but constant fucking whining. The judges are against me. The Congress is against me. The fucking press is against me. Everybody's against. They cheat. They lie. Blah, 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 blah. It's enough. Trump, grow the fuck up. Because if you blow this election, you know what? We're going to have 8 years of Kamala after 8 years of Obama and 4 years of Biden. You know what that adds up to? That's 20 out of a quarter of 20 years out of a quarter of a century. You know what that is? That's a shift in America. That's what that is. So Trump, if you really love America so much, grow the fuck up. There you go. That's my take.
Tell us how you really feel.
That's how I really feel. It fucking angers me, man.
Of course it does.
It angers me because he should win. Again,
hands
we
down,
have our
handily.
bet.
Right.
You're going to be wrong. He's not going to win by 55%, but he should in this race. The circumstances, the way things are, he should. But this is going to be 20 years of left-wing leadership if he blows this election,
The
Mike.
country would survive it, honestly. Not
It
in
might
any real
not.
sense.
So
Not in any
again,
real sense.
Trump, you said you took a real bullet for America. Take the metaphoric one. Swallow your fucking pride. Stop with the election being stolen. Start talking about this November. What you're gonna do. Stop with the if I was president, this never would have happened. That's counterfactual history. Who cares? We don't know what would have happened or wouldn't have happened. Prepare for a debate. That's it. And stop with the moderators are against me. Go back on them. You'd fact check her if they're not fact checking her. Sorry.
No,
I went
you're
overtime.
good. No, you're good. You're good.
So
Good. Listen.
let's get into specifics here. And by the way,
Yeah.
I ain't going to read your comments if you're going to tell me I'm a rhino or whatever. You know what? People are entitled to their opinions. That's all. That's my opinion.
I don't think it's a rhino at all. I think it's just being legitimately upset. Listen, I heard the same basic statement as what Rick just put out from people all night last night, all day today. I mean, hundreds of people.
Really?
Yeah, tons and tons of people. Very, very upset. And these are the most hardcore Trump supporters you'll meet, right? These people are absolutely 100% on board. But they're scared. They're scared. They're scared of what 4 more years of a Democrat leadership is going to look like for the country. They're scared of what's going to happen. They're scared of more January 6th prosecutions or other types of prosecutions, or lawfare against regular people. They're scared, and they're rightfully scared. And when you're the guy carrying the flag and you're saying, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to fight, I'm going to take this fight to them, and I'm going to win, and I'm going to put things back to right, you know, when you stumble like that, people get scared.
Yeah, but Mike, I don't think that was a stumble. I don't think that was a
bad
stumble.
strategy.
Yeah, it was
think it was
terrible
bad strategy.
And you know what I can almost guarantee? Because this was not the advice that he was given. I can't imagine that any of the people who were helping him prep, like Tulsi Gabbard, told him to go out and act like that. And told him to talk about those things.
Yeah, I can imagine that being it's not the right move.
I'll give you an example. Go back, because now I can find, now that we're doing this podcast, I can finally prove that I said things beforehand, you know? So, because nobody believes me when I say, oh, well, I said this 2 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
On a video, a couple of videos ago, I said, he's got to talk, when they ask him about the abortion ban, a national abortion ban.
Yeah.
Right? I said, all he has to do is say, yes, I'm going to veto it because I find it's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Because the Dobbs decision that I, Donald Trump, helped to get gave this back to the states, so I will veto a national abortion ban.
He kind of said that.
No, he did not. He did not. He threw J.D. Vance under the bus. I'll pull the transcript up.
He talked about the Supreme Court decision on it and everything.
He did, but he did
going
not.
Back to the states.
But he would not answer the question whether or not he would veto a national abortion ban if it came to his desk. He went into some incoherent thing about how she couldn't get student loans past Congress or something, and then he brought up the Dobbs.
That's right. Yeah, he kind of.
I mean, you talk about word salads. My God, he did his best imitation of her last night.
He did. Yeah, he kind of. I remember that. That's right.
All he had to do, Mike, is say, "Yeah, I'll veto it, not because I'm for abortion. I will veto it because I'm in favor of the Constitution and the Dobbs decision threw this back to the states." And by the way, Mike, that's what the veto was really intended to do. I mean, most of the vetoes in the early days of our republic were presidents not vetoing something because they didn't like it. That was kind of the constitutional check on Congress, right? That Congress can't get out of hand.
States, right? Keep things back at the states where they belong.
Well, no, just that if a president found, like when Jackson vetoed the bank, right? In his veto bill, he said, I feel it's unconstitutional.
Yep.
Now, I know we have judicial review now and everything, but the idea of a veto was that. But anyway, regardless, we don't have to go back to Andrew Jackson. Just say, yeah, I'm going to veto it because I believe it's unconstitutional. Next question.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't go. I didn't even know what the hell he was saying about the student loans. When I read it, I figured he was saying that they failed in getting it through the Supreme Court.
His whole strategy last night seemed to be like just taking jabs at her. Just jab, 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 jab. And I'm like, I don't need to see a boxing match. Man. I need to see policy. I need to see, talk to me about policy. Talk to me like I'm one of those undecided that's sitting in the middle and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Talk to me about what you're going to do. Tell me how you're going to make it better. Listen, he's perfectly primed to win, right? He's got 4 years of his presidency, and they've got almost 4 years of this presidency to say, juxtapose. Here's a contrasting, right?
Right.
Look how bad it is right now. It's only been like 3.5 years, and look how good it was when I was there. Pick. That's all you've got to do. Just highlight that and pick.
But when you prepare for a debate, you have to anticipate the questions, right? You have to anticipate what your opponent's going to say. That's strategy, just like a game plan for a football game. You don't know
Sure.
exactly what's going to happen, but you think ahead of time. This is what they might say. This is what they might do.
You kind of have an idea where they're going to go,
Right.
you know?
And anybody could have told that she was going to try to get under his skin.
Yeah, she
Because that's
did.
what I would do if I was running against them. I mean,
Because you get to show you that person as like a hothead or whatever.
exactly, of course. So, she did that, and he took the bait every single time. And the moderators, Mike, I don't think they were that bad. What I don't like is, number one, like I said,
think
don't
they were
fact
awful.
check. Don't fact check anybody. I don't care that they didn't fact check. Don't fact check anybody. You're a moderator.
And moderate. That's right. I put it on Twitter last night. I put out a post. Why can't moderators just moderate?
Yeah.
And like they kept fact checking him, which it was crazy to me. The fact checks they were throwing at him were the very things that they themselves debunked on their own damn station. And David Moore debunked
Like what?
2 or 3 of those things himself.
What are you referring to?
When he fact checked him on, I can't remember the specifics now. I was looking at it earlier, but it was one of them was about
He fact checked him on the dog eating thing.
and that was actually
that what-
because he came back and said, well, the county the county manager says that's not true. Well, they have police reports, they have video testimony from actual citizens showing these people taking pets and things like that, eating the ducks, doing everything else. Like, there's a lot of factual evidence out there to say it did happen. But this
Maybe,
guy
maybe
fact-checked
not.
him.
I have no idea.
It's
But
out there.
but Trump's answer was, "I saw it on TV." Mike, there's a man running for president of the United States. His answer was,
I'm
"I
not-
saw it on TV."
I'm not-
I saw it on TV.
But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the moderator.
No, I know you're
stepping out of
talking about
bounds.
the moderator.
And
but
that's just one example. But Kamala lied over 21 times last night, and not
course.
one fact check. And then you had these 2 moderators throwing her softball questions, answering questions for her, not forcing her to answer any question. She didn't answer a single question. She really didn't answer a single question.
But I don't
she
think it's
talked
their,
around everything.
But I
and
think
didn't
it's
answer anything.
his job to make her, just like it's her
I
job
agree,
to make
but
him.
when you have both moderators, taking up the water for her and carrying the water for her, it made it
Maybe.
that much easier for her to shield herself and sit here and give these ridiculous non-answers.
When we go through the transcript in the next video, we'll go through
Yeah,
that.
because I don't
We'll
remember
see.
probably which ones it was, but I knew there was a couple
But
of them.
Mike, but
that
his
this guy
answer
actually,
was, "I saw it on TV." Why? What does that mean? I saw it on TV. That's like a 7-year-old.
No, you
I
should be
saw
saying
it on TV.
You should be saying exactly what I just said. Look, the information's out there. Like, there's legitimate videos out there. There's legitimate police reports out there. There's actually legitimate information out there about these things happening. Like, I don't know the circumstances of these Haitian migrants in Aurora. I don't know what's going on there that they feel like they have to go take ducks from a park and eat them. But I mean, it might be a cultural thing. It might just be that maybe they weren't prepared for it.
Or
There
maybe
really wasn't enough food.
maybe it's not true. Or even if it is true,
It's
Mike,
documented,
but is that really an important issue when
don't-
we're talking about
I don't think
millions
it's
of illegal immigrants coming?
No.
Why didn't he just say something? Why didn't he prepare himself
I'd rather
with
hear
quotes
about-
from Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, talking about how New York City's going broke because of the migrants?
Right.
Why didn't he talk about something that can't
or
be?
the crime waves, like with these Venezuelan gangs taking over buildings, taking over hotels.
Or
things
how
like
about
that.
the one that was on video flipping the bird when he was coming out of the courtroom after he beat up a cop?
Right.
But the anecdotal
There's a lot
stuff-
of very good examples of why this thing's not
There
working. why
are,
it's bad.
but Mike, there are 10, 11, 12 million illegal aliens
and
in
then
the country
the
now.
financial cost, right? Let's
That's
talk
the
about
thing.
that.
Yes.
Let's talk about how much it's financially costing these communities, how it's
Right.
bankrupting communities,
Right.
overwhelming the resources.
And if he would have prepared, he could have had quotes. He could have quoted Democratic
Right, so that's what I'm
mayors.
talking about, like, policy. With a debate, it
Right.
should be all policy. Look, the moderators were awful. I think that was part of the problem I had with it. But I wasn't happy with his performance either. Honestly, I wasn't, because I felt like it was all jabs and no policy, and that to me is like, okay, what's the point of me sitting here? I don't need an hoorah Trump rally kind of thing. Like, I'm a supporter. I voted for you twice. I'm going to vote again, but put some policy in there, because
Look, I
there's
got
people in
some-
the middle that need that policy conversation to really.
I
bring
got
them
some
over.
issues with the moderators, but to me, that's such a tiny problem, because you have to
just-
deal with it. It's just, you know what
Well,
it
he
reminds
should
me
know
of?
by now, yeah.
It reminds me of parents at a little league game complaining about the umpire. Just stop. Teach your kid how to fucking play ball. Don't worry about the goddamn umpire.
Well, he should know how to play ball by now, right? He's had 9 years of this stuff. He's had the debates before where the moderators were completely a disaster or whatever. He should kind of already know what to expect with them, and he should have been
But he
preparing
used to.
for that.
He used to. Listen, how did he disarm Megyn Kelly in 2016? Do you remember how he disarmed her when she talked about how he how he's disrespectful to women or calls women fat pigs, and he says only Rosie O'Donnell. Everybody laughed. Megyn Kelly couldn't even come up with
a proper response.
That's how you do it. You disarm.
He was definitely off the game last night. I think it was just bad strategy. I can't imagine whoever his team was that was preparing him was using that as a good strategy. I think that was awful.
He just wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared. Because, again, who cares about the dogs? So
I don't care about that
even
crap.
if it is true, what difference does that make? Is that really the biggest problem with illegal
You know who
immigration?
got happy about that?
Pets eaten?
You know who really who celebrated those comments were like the MAGA camp people, like the hardcore MAGA people.
Yeah.
They were celebrating that, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand. It's a glaring example of something really awful that's going on. Fair enough. But that being said, is that really pertinent to most people? Absolutely not.
No.
It's a
Not at
blip.
all.
It's a salacious headline that's going to last a couple of days and be gone in the next salacious headline.
And I would venture to say that most of the people watching that last night, when they heard that, they were like, "What the fuck's he talking about?"
Yeah, because
But if he would have brought up again, I'll say it for a third time, because this is what he should have done. There are so many quotes he could have got from Mayor Eric Adams, any Democratic mayor, talking about how this is busting city budgets wide open, killing the schools.
How many mayors have changed parties? How many mayors have changed parties across the country over the last year?
Bingo. He couldn't memorize 2 or 3 of them?
Yeah, so many of them. And the quotes that you see, I remember reading some of the quotes from some of these people talking about it, and these were truly, intelligent, good people who really meant well, and they were like, look, it's not that I'm not a Democrat, I'm just not this, and this has left me behind.
Right.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, folks. A little allergies tonight.
But that's the problem I had with him. Was just one of the problems, one of the millions of problems I had with him.
It was not a great performance, and it was not a great performance.
And again, I'm getting sick of the whole thing with the blaming the press. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm just tired of it.
You can't blame them. You already know what they are. You know what they are. They're like paid shills, right? They're going to push whatever agenda they're basically told to push. These people are not smart for most part. I mean, there's very few. We talked about this before. There's very few real journalists left. Ones who can actually do their job. And I'm not talking about right, left, or whatever. I don't need someone to reinforce my right beliefs or your left beliefs or whatever it is. Just give me the facts and let me decide for myself what I want to think, because I'm a grown-ass adult.
Absolutely.
I can do that. And there's very few that actually do that anymore.
But I just don't think those two were even close to being the worst I've ever seen. I just don't. And then I heard Trump on Fox News this morning. Peter Doocy asked him if he would do a debate on Fox, and he says, I won't do it if Brett Baer and Martha McCallum are moderating, because they're not fair. Seriously? I mean, seriously, Mike? This man has got to grow the fuck up. I won't do the debate if Brett Baer... he says, I want Jesse Waters or Sean Hannity to do it. Kamala Harris would agree to that as quickly as Trump would agree to do a debate if Rachel Maddow and one of those other stoonads from MSNBC were moderating.
Yeah,
you don't ask Sean Hannity and Jesse... whatever his name is, Waters, to host a debate.
Yeah.
He won't do a debate if Martha McCallum and Brett Baer, because they're not fair to him. This is enough already, Mike. It's just enough.
He's got to put that shit behind him and just focus on winning. And if he just sticks to policy and talk about policy and how just that contrast, the whole message of this campaign should legitimately just be, look at how it was when I was president and look at what's happening now. That's it. Just contrast the two. That's all you've got to do, and you'll get that 70% of the country, because everybody's like, "What the hell is going on?"
We're up to 70 now.
No, I'm probably exaggerating. Maybe I'm being
55.
hopeful. I think we might hit to 60. I'm still pretty sure.
Let me ask you something. Why wouldn't you accept my bet last night? When I said I'll bet you straight up. You're willing to bet that he'll get 55%, but not.
I was willing to bet last night, but I was overruled by the Godfather.
Oh my God! What if you guys you're gonna die on camera?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell? It's
you all right?
Allergies, yeah.
Yeah, well, listen.
Take an allergy pill.
There's TDS is a real thing, right? Trump derangement.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
But
absolutely.
you know what else is a real thing? Another variant of TDS? Trump deriding syndrome. I'm tired of these people who every single thing he does is wonderful, says is wonderful. Oh, he jabbed her last night.
Yeah,
he got her good.
We talked about this. Remember the whole fanboy politics thing? Remember we talked about that? One of the previous shows, we talked about this. I never understood the fanboy politics. I love Reagan. I thought he was amazing. Reagan is the president that actually got me interested in politics. Because I remember being a kid and hearing him speak, and I was just so impressed with how, articulate and calm but there was at the same time passionate he was. I'm like, wow, this guy's really something, and that kind of got me interested, and it's continued through my life. But the whole fanboy politics thing. Like I don't get it. You know.
I don't get it either. And
I don't get fanboy politics.
I just didn't get the defense of him last night. Just all the people, you know, the Sean Hannitys and the interviewers who are just defending him, and again, everything is the moderator's
I mean, they're
fault.
taking up the cause, right? They're carrying the flag, they're carrying the water, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I mean, that's just what they do. That's why I say, like, on both sides, honestly, there's nobody really. These are all like, kind of like paid shills, right? So on both sides. And it's nothing to disparage anybody on either side, honestly, but it's not, I don't mean it in a disparaging way, but I just feel like there's not a lot of, like, true journalism out there. And that's really what I would like to see is return to true journalism. Just, you know, give me the facts of whatever it is that's going on and let me decide for myself. I'm a grown man. I can figure out what I think about things. I don't need somebody to kind of spoon feed it to me.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Anyway, we'll come back. We're going to do another video to follow this up, and we're going to actually look at the transcript of, not everything, obviously. We'd have a 90-minute video then. But we're going to look at a transcript if this fucking guy doesn't die over here. And we're going to go through some of the things, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to defend the moderators, but I'm not going to throw them under the bus either. Mike, I do want to give a shout out to Phoenix Modeling Photography, who made a comment on one of our videos and said, he's a new viewer, new subscriber apparently, said, good discussion, boys. Smart idea on the new thumbnail designs too, because I only just discovered your channel from this one randomly appearing in my feed today. Listening to some of your older ones now while at work. Cheers. Well, Phoenix, thank you. Don't let your boss know that you're listening to us while you're at work, though. I don't want to be responsible for you getting fired. No. But appreciate you, brother or sister. I don't know if Phoenix, I guess, could be either one. But do appreciate the comment. We do appreciate, we've gotten a few new subscribers in the last few days.
Yeah, we're steadily growing. We're steadily growing. Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of views on a couple of our last videos, and we truly, truly appreciate it. And by the way, I don't know if you read, but we have some very liberal commenters also.
I saw some, yeah, but they were...
Appreciate you too, man. I mean, seriously.
Listen, they were respectful. They weren't like, you know, they
had
put forward their thoughts and their feelings. You guys put it forward without being...
It was mostly about abortion.
Yeah, rudeness.
And they haven't seen our abortion one yet. We still have that one in the can.
We still have the abortion one. We're going to have to agree to disagree on the abortion issue, but you know what? We appreciate that you were respectful in the comments, that you're coming and you're kind of putting forth your idea or your feelings about things and your thoughts. And
we just appreciate you watching, you know.
We appreciate that. We want to hear your thoughts on all sides, honestly. We want to have these conversations, and this is exactly what this is about. It's trying to have these conversations again without the name calling, without getting, you know, nasty with each other, with just being honest. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, guys. You're helping us grow, and we're growing quickly, and we really appreciate it.
We do. And we'll be back with part 2. We're going to get more into the actual things that were said instead of just yelling and screaming and me losing my damn mind.
I think, Rick, tonight...
I'm better tonight than I was last night.
Well, I think Rick tonight nailed pretty much how a lot of people felt that maybe aren't like the super fan base, you know, that are outside of that super fan base that are like, you know, looking for real leadership. They're like, what the hell was that? Yeah. And they're rightfully so, you know, rightfully so. I really feel like he flubbed it. I love the man. I think he's amazing. I really do. Very impressive guy, but I think he flubbed it last night. I think he took the completely wrong direction on this thing, and it showed.
And it's going to be a tough recovery. He's got work to do, and he can't just complain. He's got to fix this.
Stay away from the complaints. Just stick to policy.
Anyway, so we're going to get more specific in our next video. I'm going to pull the transcript up. Actually, by the way, really enjoyed reading the transcript a lot more. I was getting my car fixed today, so I just sat there and read the whole thing while I was waiting for my car to be done, because like I said, I had to turn it off a couple of times last night and I couldn't take it.
It was irritating. I was getting irritated last night too.
But when you read it, you get a whole different
context,
vibe, kind of, I guess would be the word.
There's definitely a different context. Although, look, I wasn't happy with his performance, and I'll give her a little bit of credit in that she did better than I thought she would, honestly.
Well, let's not forget, the bar for her was low.
And that's just it. So it makes it seem that much greater when she actually can form a sentence.
Because remember, the last person he debated was almost dead.
He's a dementia patient.
So she looked very good compared to him, but I actually think she did a good. There were no word salads. Yes, she lied, Mike. That's what politicians do.
You know what she did, but she didn't do the word salad thing. I mean, she kind of almost strayed there a couple of times. She started to stutter a couple of times. Like, she had a couple of moments where you thought, like, oh, here it comes, and then it never really materialized.
Yeah.
You know,
she did fine.
Probably one of the big critiques I can make about it is she didn't really actually answer any questions. And the second thing that I would really say about her performance would be that it was just very canned. Like, the responses were very, like, practiced and canned.
Oh, 100%.
Like, fake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are probably the two big takeaways I have for her side of things. But we'll talk about it in the next video.
But she was prepared. She knew what she wanted to say.
She was definitely prepared.
She knew what she wanted to get out of this, and she got it.
No, she did. She
got
did the
it.
work. She was
You know?
definitely prepared. She definitely put the work in.
And he didn't. He did put the work in and then just said, screw it, I'm doing what I want to do.
And he kind of took his own tack and it went sideways.
Which is possible, but it really reminds me of that first debate with Biden in 2020. And I don't understand why he didn't learn from that. He should have learned from the last debate he had with Joe Biden, which he did great. It wasn't just that Biden did bad.
Calm,
Trump did very well in that
deliberate,
debate.
measured.
Yeah, and
that's what you need. You need that calm, deliberate, measured tone.
Exactly.
Respond and let them hang themselves. That's all you got to do. Respond and let them hang themselves. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
But we'll get into it, folks. We appreciate you guys, all of you, right, left, middle, whatever. We don't care. We appreciate you, and we want to have those conversations. So again, thank you for all the comments, and we will work hard to try and get back to everybody that's commenting and get some kind of conversation going.
And unless I got to bring Mike to the ER, we're going to do a video with the
I'm okay
with the transcript in a little bit. Just going to take a break. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, all those other things. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just repeat these things. Like I said, I've never
comment
been
down
on
below,
social media.
subscribe, share it with friends and family, people you think might be interested. Let's get this conversation growing and let's get everybody involved.
And
all
take
right?
that walk down the dirt road with us. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, folks. Thank you.